Let's get right into it. Number 10. Your brain's alarm bell. Ever felt that sudden gut-wrenching lurch when you almost trip, or when a car swerves too close? That, my friend, is your amygdala throwing a 5-alarm fire drill in your skull. This almond-shaped cluster of neurons, buried deep within your temporal lobe, is basically your brain's overzealous security guard. It doesn't care about nuance, it just screams danger at the first whiff of trouble. Think of it as the ultimate helicopter parent, constantly scanning for threats, real or imagined. It's why you jump at a loud noise, even if it's just a dropped spoon. Your amygdala doesn't wait for context. It's already deployed the fight or flight response before your conscious brain has even registered what's happening. It's a primal lightning-fast reaction designed to keep your ancestors from becoming saber-toothed tiger snacks, and it's still working overtime in your perfectly safe, modern life. This ancient alarm system is so efficient, it often triggers before you even know why you're scared, leaving you with that delightful cocktail of sweaty palms, a racing heart, and a sudden urge to either punch something or run screaming into the night. Basically, your brain is a drama queen, and the amygdala is its lead actress. Number 9. The fear contagion. Imagine you're chilling in a crowded room, minding your own business, when suddenly someone screams. What happens next? Chances are, you're not calmly assessing the situation. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, and you're scanning for danger like your life depends on it, because in a very real sense, your brain just decided it does. This isn't just empathy, it's a full-blown fear contagion, and it's surprisingly potent. Our brains are wired to pick up on the fear cues of others, a survival mechanism that allowed our ancestors to quickly identify threats in their environment. If one caveman saw a lion and freaked out, it was probably a good idea for everyone else to freak out too, no questions asked. This social transmission of fear is why panic spreads like wildfire in a crowd, or why watching a horror movie with a jumpy friend makes it 10 times scarier. Your mirror neurons are basically saying, "Oh, they're terrified? I should probably be terrified too." It's like your nervous system has a Wi-Fi connection to everyone else's, downloading their anxiety directly into your own. So, the next time you feel an irrational wave of panic, just remember, you might just be catching someone else's bad vibes literally. Number 8. The illusion of control. Ever noticed how some people insist on driving in a blizzard, even though they're white-knuckling the wheel and their eyes are wider than saucers? Or maybe you're the type who meticulously checks every single lock on your door 3 times before bed, despite living in a gated community with a guard dog named Cuddles. This, my friends, is the beautiful, terrifying dance of the illusion of control. When we feel powerless, our brains, in their infinite wisdom, decide to invent control where there is none. It's a coping mechanism, a psychological safety blanket woven from delusion and wishful thinking. We overestimate our ability to influence random events because the alternative, admitting we're just tiny, insignificant specks in a chaotic universe, is frankly a bit of a buzzkill. Your brain would rather you believe you can personally prevent a plane crash by keeping your seatbelt extra tight than face the cold, hard truth that you're just along for the ride. It's why superstitions thrive, why we knock on wood, or wear our lucky socks during a big game. It's not about logic, it's about tricking your own mind into thinking you've got a handle on the terrifying randomness of existence. So go ahead, cross your fingers, knock on wood, and maybe even wear that lucky hat. Your brain needs its little lies to keep the existential dread at bay. Number 7. The existential dread of the unknown. Alright, let's get a little philosophical, shall we? You know that creeping, unsettling feeling you get when you ponder the vastness of space, the inevitability of death, or the sheer pointlessness of folding laundry. That's not just a bad mood, that's your brain grappling with the existential dread of the unknown. Unlike a specific fear, like spiders or public speaking, this isn't about a tangible threat. This is about the terrifying, boundless abyss of not knowing. Your brain, bless its little cotton socks, is a pattern-seeking, meaning-making machine. It craves order, predictability, and a nice, neat narrative. When faced with concepts that defy easy categorization, like the infinite void or the ultimate cessation of consciousness, it short-circuits. It's like trying to run a 4K video on a potato. The system just can't handle the processing power required, and it defaults to a low-grade, pervasive anxiety. This isn't the jump-scare fear of a monster, it's the slow, chilling realization that the monster might just be the universe itself, and it doesn't care about your feelings. It's the fear that there's no grand plan, no cosmic blueprint, just a whole lot of nothingness waiting to swallow everything you hold dear. So, next time you're staring blankly at the ceiling at 3 a.m., contemplating your mortality, just remember, your brain is just having a little existential crisis, and it's totally normal. Or is it? Dun. Number 6. The misdirection of anxiety. Ever found yourself meticulously cleaning your house at 2 a.m., scrubbing grout with the intensity of a surgeon, all while a vague, unsettling feeling gnaws at your insides? Or perhaps you're suddenly obsessed with organizing your spice rack by alphabetical order, even though you haven't cooked a meal from scratch since 2019. This, my friends, is the misdirection of anxiety. Your brain, in its infinite, albeit sometimes misguided wisdom, is trying to cope with an amorphous, undefined fear by latching onto something concrete, something it can control. Anxiety, unlike fear, often lacks a clear object. It's a free-floating sense of dread, a low hum of impending doom without a specific source. And your brain absolutely hates that ambiguity. So, it invents a target. It takes that generalized unease and projects it onto something manageable, something you can actually do something about. Suddenly, the existential dread about your career choices transforms into an urgent need to color-code your sock drawer. It's a brilliant, if slightly neurotic, defense mechanism. Instead of confronting the terrifying unknown, you're battling dust bunnies or rogue cumin seeds. It's a distraction, a mental sleight of hand, allowing you to feel productive and in control, even as the real, bigger fears lurk just beneath the surface. So, next time you find yourself obsessively reorganizing your digital photo albums, ask yourself, what am I really avoiding? Number 5. The comfort of catastrophe. Now, this one might sound a little twisted, but bear with me. Have you ever noticed how, when something truly awful happens, a natural disaster, a global pandemic, a sudden alien invasion, hey, a guy can dream, there's a strange, almost perverse sense of calm that can settle in? It's not that you're happy about the catastrophe, obviously. But that nagging low-level anxiety about what if suddenly vanishes, replaced by the stark, undeniable reality of what is. This is the comfort of catastrophe. Your brain, which has been working overtime conjuring up every conceivable worst-case scenario, suddenly has a concrete problem to solve. The abstract fear of the unknown is replaced by a very real, very present threat, and surprisingly, that can be a relief. All those hypothetical anxieties about losing your job, or forgetting to turn off the stove, or accidentally sending a meme to your boss, get shoved aside. Your primal survival instincts kick in, and your focus narrows to the immediate task, finding shelter, securing resources, or figuring out how to communicate with the aforementioned aliens. It's the ultimate mental decluttering. All the petty worries evaporate, leaving only the raw, urgent need to survive. It's a bizarre paradox. Sometimes, the actual disaster is less terrifying than the anticipation of it. Your brain, it turns out, prefers a clear enemy, even if that enemy is a giant asteroid hurtling towards Earth. At least you know what you're dealing with, right? Number 4. The sweet release of dopamine. Ever wondered why people voluntarily strap themselves into roller coasters designed to simulate imminent death, or watch horror movies through their fingers, or even, dare I say, enjoy the thrill of a near miss on the highway? It's not because you're a secret masochist, probably. It's because your brain, in its infinite wisdom, has decided that a little bit of fear is actually fun. When you experience a controlled scare, one where your rational brain knows you're ultimately safe, your body still floods with adrenaline and cortisol, prepping you for fight or flight. But here's the kicker. Once the perceived threat is over, your brain releases a delicious cocktail of dopamine and endorphins. This is your body's reward system kicking in, a biological pat on the back for surviving something mildly terrifying. It's the same chemical rush you get from exercise, or eating chocolate, or achieving a goal. Your brain basically says, hey, you faced danger and lived. Here's some happy juice. This is why we seek out thrilling experiences. We're not just chasing the fear, we're chasing the glorious, post-fear chemical high. It's like your nervous system is a toddler who loves to scream and then immediately demands a lollipop. So, the next time you're white-knuckling it through a haunted house, just remember, you're not just being scared, you're actively pursuing a neurochemical reward. You're a fear junkie, and your brain is your dealer. Number 3. The echo chamber of trauma. Imagine you're walking down a perfectly normal street, minding your own business, when suddenly you hear a specific song. And just like that, you're transported back to that one awkward middle school dance, or that terrible breakup, or that time you accidentally set off the fire alarm during a job interview. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and you feel a familiar knot of dread. This, my friends, is the echo chamber of trauma. Your brain, in its valiant effort to protect you, has created a super-efficient shortcut. It's taken a past traumatic or highly stressful event and linked it to seemingly innocuous triggers, a sound, a smell, a phrase, a particular shade of beige. These triggers act like little tripwires, instantly activating your fear response, even if the original threat is long gone. Your amygdala, that overzealous security guard we talked about earlier, doesn't care that the middle school dance is decades in the past, it just sees the trigger and screams danger. Repeat offender. It's a survival mechanism gone slightly awry, like a smoke detector that goes off every time you toast bread. Your brain is essentially saying, better safe than sorry. Let's re-experience that terror, just in case. It's a constant, subtle reminder that your past fears are always lurking, ready to hijack your present. So, the next time an old song sends you spiraling into an existential crisis about your fashion choices in 2003, blame your brain's overprotective, slightly paranoid filing system. It's just trying to keep you safe, one embarrassing memory at a time. Number 2. The rationalization of risk. Ever met someone who meticulously researches the safest car models, only to then text and drive? Or perhaps you're the type who freaks out about flying but thinks nothing of a daily commute through rush hour traffic, statistically far more dangerous. Welcome to the wonderful world of the rationalization of risk, where your brain plays fast and loose with statistics and logic, all in the name of feeling secure. We are incredibly adept at downplaying risks we choose to take or those that feel familiar, while wildly exaggerating risks that are outside our control or are sensationalized by media. Your brain has a built-in bias towards optimism, often convincing you that bad things happen to other people, not to you. It's why we buy lottery tickets despite astronomical odds, or why we ignore health warnings until it's almost too late. The perceived control we have over certain activities, like driving, makes us feel safer, even if our actions, like texting, actively increase the danger. Conversely, the lack of control in situations like flying can trigger intense anxiety, even though commercial air travel is statistically one of the safest modes of transportation. Your brain isn't interested in objective truth, it's interested in maintaining your sense of well-being, even if it has to bend reality a little. It's a masterful illusionist, making the terrifying seem mundane and the mundane seem terrifying, all to keep your fragile psyche intact. So, the next time you're scoffing at someone's fear of sharks while simultaneously jaywalking across a 6-lane highway, just remember, your brain is probably just doing some mental gymnastics to keep you from spiraling into a constant state of panic. It's a defense mechanism, not a logical argument. Number 1. The evolutionary hangover. Finally, let's talk about the granddaddy of all fears, the one that underpins so many of our irrational anxieties, the evolutionary hangover. Your brain, for all its sophisticated processing power, is still largely running on ancient software designed for a world that no longer exists. We're talking about a brain that evolved to survive on the savannah, where every rustle in the grass could be a predator, every strange face a potential threat, and every dark cave a guaranteed death trap. Fast forward a few 100,000 years, and you're now living in a climate control department, ordering food with your thumb, and your biggest threat is probably a passive-aggressive email from your boss. Yet, your primal fear circuits are still firing on all cylinders. That innate fear of snakes or spiders. Evolutionary hangover. That discomfort in large, open spaces, agoraphobia, or confined ones, claustrophobia? Probably a remnant of needing to quickly assess threats in varied environments. That deep-seated anxiety about social rejection? Back in the day, being ostracized from the tribe meant certain death. Your brain hasn't quite gotten the memo that society has evolved past the point of immediate physical peril for every minor transgression. It's like trying to run a super-advanced VR game on a Commodore 64. The hardware just isn't built for the current environment. So, while you might be logically aware that the shadow in your room is just a coat rack, your ancient brain is still screaming bear. It's a constant battle between your rational, modern self and your primal, paranoid ancestor. And guess who usually wins in a split-second decision? Yeah, the caveman. Your fears aren't always about you, they're often just echoes from a very, very dangerous past. Your brain is basically a time capsule of terror, and you're living with its contents. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.